So the summer before we all moved to college, my friends and I took a road trip to Wilson Lake in Kansas, western Kansas, and it took us forever to get there for one because we got a flat tire and then we missed like a million exits. But we finally get there and we camp, and then the day we leave, we decide to do a little like look around, and we end up in Lucas, Kansas, which is apparently the art capital of Kansas, which was very interesting because I feel like there was some precedent to be met, and every person in the town almost had some sort of strange craft or decoration out in their yard, and lots of sunflowers and like cast iron, blah blah blah, cans everywhere. It's a pretty cool place. You go in, and like the city sign is this giant dish that's sort of tiled and mosaicked with bits and pieces of everything. It says Lucas, and it has like the state seal on it with flowers. It was pretty cool. So we get in there and we're driving around and like scouring for pictures, and we decide to stop at the Garden of Eden, which is this amazing building in the middle of the town. And this artist and his wife had lived in the house, and I guess all of his life he spent um, creating the Garden of Eden only in concrete, and it was all around his house. The entryway was like Adam and Eve, pretty like primitively sculpted, and it was an archway. Their hands made an archway, and then the gate was shut because it would now be in a museum because the artist was dead, and said, "Do not enter." And I remember we had a good laugh over that because of our ironic jokes that aren't actually ironic. And you could go in, I guess, and pay like $15, and you'd get a tour of the house, even though everything was outside the house. But in the basement, supposedly, is his and his wife's bodies because he had built it so that when he died, he could live in Eden still, which was a very nice gesture, being out in the middle of Kansas and sort of creating your own paradise. I liked that a lot. Um, so we walked around that and looked at all the sculpture, and we just kind of kept walking throughout the neighborhoods, and we're all like all armed with our cameras, and I have my stupid Holga thinking I'm badass. And we stumble across this house that is like covered in artificial flowers that were faded, and it looked like a nice like altar piece. She had made her house into an altar piece sort of in the front. And then we noticed this art car in the back, like one of those cars that's completely covered in action figures or cartoon characters, turf, I don't know. She had a few of them in the back, and we were looking at them, and we're in her backyard, for God's sake. We're not really caring. And she comes out there, and we're like, fuck, we're in your backyard taking pictures of your shit. And she actually ends up being a super cool lady and the owner of the world's largest museum of the smallest, the world's largest museum of the largest things smallest. I don't even, I still can't say it right. But what it was a like a school bus she had converted into this sort of uh, uh, I look, I don't know, it was a museum. I'm trying to think of like a cabinet of curiosity. That's what I'm looking for. And what she does is she goes to the world's largest things, like the world's largest rubber band ball, or world's largest loon, or largest spoon, etc., etc. She would go to those, and then she would build or make replicas of them, only small. And then she would make a little like display case and put it in her bus, and she travels around the country presenting this at fairs as her life's work.